Get ready to be blown out the water. In this video, we're about to discuss the difference between classes and structures in C++. Stand by, this video is about to start.
This is the Savage Scientist Ed right here, and I'm writing code in a police car.
What's up, folks? You already know who this is. And today we're about to talk about the difference between structures and classes in C++. This is day 14, object-oriented programming. So, here are the topics for this video. Feel free to jump to whatever topic you want to, or follow this linear, like I always say, follow it in an order. This is day 14, the first day of this 3-part mini-series. And this is going to be a short one. I'm just going to tell you right now, off the top, there's no big difference between structures and classes in C++. So, how is that? How are structures in C++ and classes the same thing in C++? So back when structures was first introduced in the C language, it had limited capabilities. That means you didn't have constructors, you didn't have polymorphism, inheritance, you didn't have all the other stuff we're going to talk about in later videos. Structures were just a way of grouping multiple data types into one convenient package. That's why I introduced that in the last video.
So in this video, we're going to examine the differences between structures and classes. And we're using an old book from 1978 so I could bring home the point. The big difference between structures and classes is accessing using public and private keywords. But when you look at the C programming language keywords, there isn't public and private. So that's why I said a lot of that stuff, meaning polymorphism, constructors, and all that stuff, that didn't exist until C++ came along. So looking at our C++ keywords, you notice we have public and private.
Structures, by default, has public accessibility. That means
the components of the structure, value X and value Y, can be accessed anywhere in our code. And when we use classes, we have private access. So that means we cannot access X and Y directly. We would have to use a modifying or an accessor function to get the X and Y. So let's see that in code. So here's the normal stuff I always do. Create a new file, new project, console application, and we're going to name it Class and Struct. Let's start writing our code here. We're going to start off with our IO stream using namespace std line. And our first class, we're going to name this thing box. And our box is going to have two int values, X and Y. And now let's move and create our structure. Structure will also have two ints, X and Y. And that's it. And notice our box and our square look identical. So let's see why we can't use these in the same way. So let's finish up with our main here. So we're going to create an instance of our box and name it B1. And we're going to create an instance of our square and call that S1. So we're gonna assign values to B1. X will get 98. And S1, X will get 145. So now let's access our B1X and S1X using printout statements, cout. So there's our B1, and let's work on our S1. So what I'm expecting is to print these values without a problem. So let's compile our program and see what happens. What? We got an error. So remember at the beginning of the video when I said classes, all members are private by default. You notice we haven't used the specifiers private or public. So here come our brand new keywords. We're about to use the public keyword to make it so we can access the members of our class. Because remember by default, even though you don't see the word private in our class, that X and Y is private. And we fixed that by using the public keyword. And to bring this point home, watch what happens when I make it so the structure members are private. Watch this. So now it's almost like our error message swapped. So now it's the structure that doesn't allow access to X and Y. So to get structure-like behavior out of our class, the only thing we have to do is put our public keyword in our class. Or if we want our structure to have our stuff private, just drop the private keyword in our square, and now we're able to emulate the behavior across both structures and classes. There's another grouping called unions, but we don't have to talk about that. So that's the difference. One keyword makes the difference. By default, classes are the members of a class are private, and the members and the data in the structure is public. So this is the Savage Scientist Ed. Until I make my next video, peace out.